What's going on, everyone? My name is Alpha, and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Radical Red, and today's challenge will be, well, I'm not really can I beat, it's more like I'm trying to beat. I'm attempting Pokemon Nuzlocke on Pokemon Radical Red Hardcore mode. But before we get into a little more of that, here's a message from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Dragon City. Dragon City is a free-to-play strategy mobile game. It is available on both Android and iOS devices, as well as Windows and Amazon devices. It is rated over 4.5 stars out of 5 on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. So go collect over 1,000 different dragons and build your own Dragon City. Breed 2 dragons to create a brand new dragon and feed them to evolve. Train your dragons and take them to battle to make them more powerful. You'll also be able to enter PvP combat modes, allowing you to fight your friends and challenge other Dragon Masters. There are several weekly events to discover, play new adventures from Maze, Runner, Grid, Heroic Race, and many other. Which one is your favorite? You can find many of your favorite YouTubers in Dragon City right now, so click the link in the description and get a special free reward on 50,000 food, 30,000 gold, and the rare Citadel Dragon. Go download Dragon City and claim your exclusive rewards. Now let's get back into the video. Alright, thank you so much Dragon City for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into the Nuzlocke. I've seen someone do this. I actually watched their live stream for a little bit and I watched them beat the Elite Four, and they are crazy good at this. And now I want to attempt it. I know a few of you guys have asked me to attempt it, so now I'm going to do that. The rules are pretty simple. I gotta play on hardcore mode on a Radical Red, so the newest version. I gotta use Nuzlocke rule set, so basically the first encounter in each route is my only encounter and the only Pokemon I can catch for that route. I gotta nickname each Pokemon, and of course, fainting means death. So any Pokemon that faints means they're gone. And as well, since we're playing on Radical Red and it's on hardcore mode, that means certain moves and abilities are limited to you. So you can't use setup moves essentially, and there's a lot of limitations as well. You can't switch out after each turn, so there's set mode. No items inside a battle, but you could use hell items at least. There's a level cap for each gym and each checkpoint, and the boss battles and the gym battles and all that are very unfair to you, so there's a lot of limitations for you. So I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. This is a hardcore Nuzlocke essentially, inside a hardcore mode, inside a really hard ROM hack to begin with. Radical Red is not an easy ROM hack. Like it just keeps going. So anyways, let's finally get into the video. So to start off our Nuzlocke, we are going to do a few things. I think I want to use Bulbasaur because I know for sure Bulbasaur can really use Sleep Powder, and that might be very effective going forwards. So I'm going to choose Bulbasaur as my first Pokemon. Our Nuzlocke doesn't start until we get Pokeballs first, so none of the Pokemons I've encountered before I actually get my Pokeballs count at all. So the first Pokemon we are able to catch, and the first encounter of Route 1 will be a Rattata. I don't know how I feel about that, but we're gonna catch a Rattata and then we're gonna put that on team. This Fisherman actually gives us an Old Rod that's able to catch Slowpokes in here. So I really want to catch a Slowpoke because I know someone, the one who beat the Nuzlocke, uses a Slowbro as one of the final Pokemon in the Elite Force. That might be really helpful in the future. So we're gonna catch ourselves a Slowpoke. I fumble around a lot because I'm really not good at Nuzlocke at all. I mean, I've done like 3 or 4, maybe beat 2 at the most. But we're also gonna catch ourselves a Skittle as our Route 22 encounter. There's also a patch of grass right before Viridian Forest, and then go into Viridian Forest and catch ourselves a Pikachu. And our team is looking pretty rounded out. We have a full team of 6. Now comes the hard part of the whole grinding thing. We had to grind for another, I don't know, an hour and a half each time. Each of our Pokemon got to get up to level 15 at least before we're able to move on. So we're gonna train our Pokemon up until then. From the bottom of my heart, the people who do Nuzlockes are insanely talented, and they deserve all the credit. I mean, I don't know how you guys even do this. Like, I am attempting Nuzlockes. Like, I don't know how people are going out there and just be like, you know what, that's a really hard game. You know, I don't know if I could even Nuzlocke the regular Radical Red. I'm trying hardcore Radical Red because I think it'll get views, and I think a lot of people will enjoy me suffering. But how do people actually Nuzlocke this? Like, how does their brain work? Like, is it always preserving the Pokemon? Is that like your mentality first? Because normally when I play Pokemon game, my mentality going into it is me trying to complete the challenge, use the Pokemon correctly, obviously using my own spin, of course. But in Nuzlocke, I feel like it's very limited, so you don't know what to do. It's hard for me to do because I hate preserving and playing slow, like stalling and stuff. That's ironic because I played a lot of challenges where I don't even attack, but it's very hard for me to really like preserve my Pokemon. So it's very like, it's a whole flip around from what I know is normal. But once we're done training up our Pokemon, we are ready to face off against our rival. Now, our first rival we gotta face off against is Brendan. Brendan is going to be the first boss of many that's going to be very difficult. So we're going to start the battle against Brendan using our Ivysaur, and we're able to sleep powder down the Meditite, and then we're able to sludge it. It's going to wake up Bullet Punch me, but I'm able to knock on the Meditite. Then it's going to send on his Numo. I'm able to sleep powder it down, switch into my water type Slowpoke, take a Flame Charge, it's fine, water pose it. It's going to switch out into his Corphish. So I'm like, what should I do? Switch out into my Pikachu, of course. It doesn't take the static, so that's not good. So I want to switch out into my Skittle, take an Aqua Jet, Razor Leaf it, and then it's gonna knock me out with the next move. So I'm like, maybe I preserve it. Switch into my Rattata, and it one-shots it using Aqua Jet. So I'm like, well, maybe it wasn't the best move. So I'm gonna switch out into my Ivysaur. Ivysaur is able to knock it out finally using Magical Leaf. Then it's gonna switch out into his Numo once again. I want to Sleep Powder it. Luckily, I do land it before it knocks me out. Switch it out with my Slowpoke, take a Flame Charge. Not ideal. And then I'm thinking in the future, I'm like, I don't think I'm using a Skittle anytime soon. I'm gonna sack my Skittle because Pikachu could be useful against Falkner. And my Skittle goes down. I send in my Houndour next. I'm able to Ember it, and then it's gonna punch me in the face. And I'm like, well, I mean, could have been worse. Switch out into my Ivysaur. I sludge it, poison it, luckily. And then I'm like, now what? It's gonna knock me out. Switch into my Pikachu, sack it. I'm like, well, there goes the Falkner plan. Switch out into my Slowpoke, switch back into my Ivysaur to take the Bullet Seed, and switch out in my Slowpoke to take the Drain Punch. And in between this, I'm doing a lot of poison damage. Eventually, I'm able to knock out the Trico. Then the Numo comes out next. It's getting Bodos me. I don't knock it out using a Water Post because it has a Pasho Berry. And he's going to knock me out using Bodos once again. So I'm like, well, is this the end? My last Pokemon is an Ivysaur. I'm able to Magical Leave it, knock it out luckily. And all we have left is an Ivysaur level 5. So that's great. That's very great. All my Pokemons go into the PC. And the only thing left is my Ivysaur because I can't get new encounters at all. Actually, I take that back. There is actually one more encounter I can do. I could go back into Pallet Town. I could fish up a Tentacool. So 10,000 IQ plays. With this save the run, I catch the Tentacool. Now I gotta train it up. Training up was not fun either. It takes another 20 minutes to train up this Tentacool because for some reason this thing does not gain XP at a normal rate for some reason. Anyways, once we are done with that, we're able to face off against the next mini boss of the game, which is against this Bug Trainer. Now this Bug Trainer, very difficult for some reason. So we're gonna start the battle using our Ivysaur against him. We're gonna start the battle using Sleep Powder against the Cricketune. Decidedly using Growl on both the Dustox and the Cricketune was probably not the best idea. Then it's gonna send us Dustox, and then it's gonna Side Beam me down. And I'm like, well, this is not really fun. Switch out into my Tentacool, maybe preserving my Ivysaur, maybe this thing can knock it out. I was wrong. Supersonic does not work against him, and then he's gonna knock me out using Side Beam. And I'm like, well, Ivysaur is still alive. Maybe it could just kill everything. It's not. So Side Beam will knock me out, and that is the end of the first attempt of my Nuzlocke on Radical Red Hardcore mode. What did we learn from this? Try to get better encounters. So we're gonna start up another run of Radical Red Hardcore mode. Go through the start of the game, you know, run through all the tutorials, of course. We're gonna go ourselves. We're gonna pick up ourselves another Bulbasaur, and then we're gonna head into the fields once again. Our first encounter this time will be a Bidoof. I don't know how I feel about this, but at least it evolves early. Then we're gonna go into Viridian City. We're gonna find ourselves a Chinchou. Now this Chinchou is, you know, not a Slowpoke, but I can capture this thing. But this thing might be really good against Falkner, so you know what? It's also my encounter for this route. So catch myself a Chinchou, and then go east. Catch myself a Rookidee, and then go north. And then the final encounter we can get is in Viridian Forest, and we get a Wurmple. At the very least, it evolves really early, so we can get that on our team. From there, though, we are going to face off against Brendan. Once we're level 16, of course, that's the max cap level, we're going to face off against Brendan. Now, Brendan is going to start the battle using his Meditite. We're going to start the battle using our Rookidee. We're going to pluck it, and then it just dies. Oh my god. What's the point? What's the point anymore? I'm gonna switch out into my Dustox. Gust it, luckily knocks him out. Then it's gonna start his Corphish. I can stay in, but I really don't want to. Switch out into my Chinchou. I'm going to survive any hit. Shockwave will knock him out in 2 shots, as you can see. Then it's gonna switch out into his Trico. I got an Ivysaur right there. Ivysaur can take it and he hits. Sludge it, poison down a Numel on accident. Switch out into my Beedrill, and luckily Beedrill, even though it has a Partial Barrier, Aqua Jet on a Beedrill will knock him out, as you can see. Then it's gonna switch out into the Treecko. I'm gonna switch out into my Ivysaur. I'm able to sludge it, and this time around, I've only lost one Pokemon against Brendan. Now let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the Bug Trainer. Now the Bug Trainer is gonna be very annoying. We're gonna start the battle using a Dustox against this Bug Trainer. It's gonna rock to me. I poisoned it though. Then I'm like, well, send in my Mareep. Nope, not working. So maybe I could growl it. Bodos, he has every single move. He has every single move available. He has every single coverage. Send in my Beedrill. He has Bullet Seed. Oh my god. Defense Curl. I should have Aqua Jet there, but I mean, Poison would knock him out. And then send in my Chinchou against the Volbeat. And I'm like, Thunder Wave doesn't even work. I'm like, well, I'm just dumb at this point. So I want Sleep Power down to Dustox, switch out into my Chinchou, and I'm like, Supersonic? And unfortunately, it does not. It's gonna poison me, and then I paralyzed it at the very least. But it's gonna knock out my Chinchou, knock out my Dustox, almost knock him out. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. It can knock out my Ivysaur, and that's attempt 2 at our Nuzlocke. So what do we learn from this? That Ivysaur might not be the play. Ivysaur is not doing too much with Sleep Powder. I get it to sleep, and then what can I do with it? So we're not going to pick up an Ivysaur with our third attempt. Now this third attempt, we're going to say no more Bulbasaur. We're going to find ourselves a Charmander, put that on our team because Charmander is always the best. Our first encounter will be a Hoo-Hoo in Route 1. At least it evolves early. You know, at the very minimum, it evolves early. And then we're going to catch ourselves another Chinchou. Chinchou is pretty good at beating down Corphish, I'll say that. So Brendan could go down pretty easily. Catch yourselves a Rookidee because it does a lot. I mean, as you can see from the previous attempts. But anyways, we can catch ourselves a Poochyena next. We actually burn it, so that's kind of scary. But then our final member will be another, unfortunately, Wurmple. Now, next up, we're going to face out against Brendan. And we actually got through Brendan really easily. We're going to start the battle against Brendan with a Rookidee. I mean, this is just a dumb play, but you know what? I had to do it. Rookidee, pluck it. It's gonna knock out using Rock Tomb. Then send in my Noctower against him. Maybe I should have used Noctower from the start, but you know what? Hindsight is 2020. I'm able to knock out the Meditite, switch out into my Chinchou next. Shockwave, 2 shots to knock out the Corphish, of course. Then he's gonna send out his Treecko, switch out into my Charmeleon, which will easily knock him out using Incinerate. Burn down his Berry too, so that's a double win for us. And then switch, and then obviously gotta play safe. Switch out my Charmeleon against the Numel into my Mightyena, which is actually pretty good. Bite and Sucker Punch early on. Knock out a Brendan, and we only lose one Pokemon again. Could have lost none if I didn't use Rookidee, but it is what it is. And from there though, we're gonna face off against the Bug Trainer. Now this time, finally something good for us. We're gonna face off against the Bug Trainer. We're gonna start the battle using our Noctower. We're gonna Hypnosis it, miss the Hypnosis, and I'm like, well, there goes another Pokemon. So do Nuzlockers not use Hypnosis and Sleep Powder? Because, I mean, obviously it's not working out. So I'm able to Ancient Power knock out the Cricketune. Then it's gonna send us Volbeat. And I'm like, Ancient Power does not work. Switch out my Chinchou, take up any electric moves. Then I'm able to Supersonic, switch out into my Mightyena. It's gonna bite it and then Sucker Punch, do a little bit of damage. And then switch out into my Dustox, which will finally knock out the Volbeat. Then it's going to switch out into his own Dustox. I'm able to do a bit of chip damage to it, but then it's going to knock me out as I send in my Charmeleon, and we're going to Incinerate, knock out the Dustox, and we beat the Bug Trainer, guys. We finally beat the Bug Trainer, and we could go into Diglett Cave. Our first encounter, Norbat. I mean, I really don't want that, but it's our first encounter, so great. That's fantastic. And then the egg here in Pewter City will be a Dunsparce, which is also great. So we don't really have anything. We really have nothing against Falkner, and I'm like, well, let's just try our hand against Falkner. So we're gonna start the battle against Falkner using our Norbat. We're gonna try to Dragon Breath, trying to paralyze down the Drumbeat. Does not work. It will actually end up beating it down though, so it works out in a different way. Switch our Norbat into our Chinchou against the Moga. Unfortunately, Hidden Power is kind of broken, so I'm like, well, this might be the end. Sack my Chinchou, try to start using items against him, but I'm able to yawn down the Moga. I get it to sleep, and I'm able to knock it out using Rollout, which is surprising. We actually knock out something using our Dunsparce. Now next up is gonna knock me out using Farfetch, but I'm like, what can I do? Send in my Charmeleon, try to burn it, try to burn down his stuff. Does not work. Fire Fang, hopefully it burns. Nope, it's gonna roost up, it's gonna waste all my PP. What can I do? Send in my Norbat in front of the roost, and then I'm like, Dragon Breath, hopefully. Wing Attack, Dragon Breath. Rock Smash knocks me out. Send in my Applin. Dragon Breath, Paralyze, anything, something for me? No? Okay, it's fine. Send in my Charmeleon. I'm like, Fire Fang, please do something. It burns it. Give credit to Fire Fang. It does burn down a Farfetch. Unfortunately, that's all it does. It doesn't do anything else. It's gonna knock me out, and I'm like, well, that was a shame. He's gonna knock on my Chinchou. I mean, can't do too much about it. And my Charmeleon in the back will be the final Pokemon in his coffin, and he's gonna beat me down. And what did we learn from this little experiment? I'm not a really good Nuzlocker, but if you guys want me to try again, I'll gladly try again. I'm getting closer. Each battle, each boss battle, I'm getting closer. So as my estimation, maybe, I don't know, around 600 attempts, and I could beat this Radical Red hardcore mode. But anyways, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Hope you guys all enjoyed the challenge video. It was pretty fun to make, I will not lie. It was fun to make, pretty tedious. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and don't forget to download Dragon City with the links in the description and the pinned comments. Of course, it really helps my channel. It really means a lot to me that they sponsor my video, and if you guys help me out and click on it and install it, it'll mean a lot to me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. My name's been Alpha. Hope you guys all had a great day. I'm out. Peace.